Hello everyone, I'm Julia DeMarines, and this is Grasshopper. And it's good to see some familiar faces and great to see some new faces. So if you're new, you might not have heard of S.A.G.A.N. And S.A.G.A.N stands for Social Action for a Grassroots Astrobiology Network. How's that for an acronym, right? Yeah. So basically, S.A.G.A.N is an online community to support our astrobiology community, whether you're a grad student, an undergrad, or looking to get into astrobiology, or an enthusiast. So whatever your trade is, we have a home for you here that you can interact, and it's just a great resource to have a nice collective of astrobiology resources. And we're representing the whole S.A.G.A.N team, which is a group of 6 of us, and their names are here, Zach, and Sanjoy and Sarah. Oh, I forgot Batul. I'm a jerk. I forgot someone's name. Sorry, Batul, if you're watching. Great way to start. And so yeah, we're representing that team. And here is a picture of all of us. Yay. And okay, the slide's a little off. So basically we started about 2 years ago. We were at one of these conferences in Montana. And we all got together through this parent organization called Blue Marble Space, which you'll probably hear throughout the conference. If not, feel free to ask us questions. It's basically, the tagline is promoting international unity through space exploration and space activities. So basically, they had a kind of a meeting where they said, anyone that's interested in doing anything, any projects, getting together, let's have a meeting. And a group of us emerged with this idea for S.A.G.A.N. And that's how it was started. So basically, what is S.A.G.A.N? So Facebook is great for community, but if you're a scientist, it's not really great for collaboration. Skype and Google Docs are also good for collaboration, but there's not a really good community aspect. So S.A.G.A.N bridges the gaps between Facebook and Google Docs and Skype. And we like to call it a social network with a purpose. And it creates a centralized hub for all of us astrobiologists and space exploration activities. We're going to go into some features a little bit later. And it's grounded on a nonprofit organization that we just mentioned. So we have a bunch of groups. The cool thing about this is you can start your own interest group, whether it's geology or outreach or whatever your heart desires, you can start a group. Some of our more notable ones, we have a book club that meets every 2 weeks, which is kind of cool. We can read books with people across the world and talk about them. We have multiple video chat. So think of like Google Hangouts, but we have it built into our own system. There's a whiteboard and document sharing. We have some images later, and group chats and discussion forums. And one of our best features of S.A.G.A.N is we have a mentoring platform. So this is like our chance to get into the public virtually and connect with like-minded individuals or people interested, and we'll talk more about that. So here is what our infrastructure looks like. We have a group called S.A.G.A.N Salon, where we meet once a month and have a different young astrobiologist give a talk on their subject. And then we have a chat. And it's a pretty lively discussion. It's cool. If I'm missing anything, just jump in. So here's an example of our collaboration tools. Us in the video and us documenting our agenda. So we, as administrators, meet here and type up our agenda. So if you're doing, let's say, a research project with someone across the world or across a different time zone, this is a good way to keep it in-house and collaborate. One of the coolest things about S.A.G.A.N is we have a theater, and we have monthly movies. We call it S.A.G.A.N Mystery 500 Theater. Is that what it's called? 5,000. And our friend Zach runs it and puts all these crazy videos on the theater. Some of them have been like Turkish Star Wars. It's pretty bizarre and awesome. And if that doesn't sound appealing, wait till you see it. It might change your mind. So it's a live stream. Actually, what we're doing right now is we're broadcasting on the theater as we speak. So there's people hopefully watching, and they're asking questions right now. That sorry, Batul, for forgetting your name.
And also in the theater, monthly we have a new feature called Talk to an Astrobiologist, where we have a famous, noted astrobiologist come and talk about what they're interested in, what they love about astrobiology, what they want to see in future research, for example.
And some of our past Talk to an Astrobiologist speakers have been like Chris McKay, Paul Davies, not Sarah Walker, Dave Desmarais, and what was the woman from Canada? Catherine Denning. So every month we have a new guest speaker, and we broadcast through here. So it's really cool, and we record them, and we have them edited. So you can, if you can't join us, you can watch later. So as I was mentioning, we have a mentoring program, and we're kind of still finding our feet on this. We decided to start small. We wanted to have a formal mentoring program, which we're still developing. But for now, we have informal mentoring where someone will say, hey, I'd like to have a mentor. We have a list of videos, and the mentee can select the mentor, which is really unique. And what we have here is the Celio Discovery Room, which is our latest project. It was an 8-week project working with an elementary school in Tempe, Arizona. And we each were paired with a family, and they were to present a project in a science fair, basically, at the end of this 8-week program. So we're all paired with a family, and I actually was fortunate enough to meet my family when I was just in Arizona for a workshop. And it was a really cool experience, and this is us. We actually were Skyping, and she wanted to do a project on dolphins, so she was showing me her picture of a dolphin, and that was her final project. So even though we can't be there, luckily I was enough to meet her in person, but we still had an impact on these kids' lives, and it seemed to go really well. And we're learning the challenges and successes with this program.
So just by a show of hands, how many of you do any public outreach, like in your communities or in schools or what have you? So what would be great is if you want to go on here, or if you're interested in becoming a mentor, if you go on the site, you can create a video, just a short thing about what you do, what you're interested, what you're nerdy about, essentially, so that the students can get a feel of who you are and see if they'd like to have you as a mentor versus another mentor on the site. But you could also create a group on S.A.G.A.N where you can kind of showcase the work you're doing, the education public outreach you're doing in your own communities, and you can get more students and teachers involved. You get the local teachers into it. We'll get into that a little bit later.
So as I was saying, we have individual mentoring as well as the student mentoring that we just mentioned. And we're having resources for this. We're developing a handbook. So if you're new to mentoring, do not fear. And here's an example of the video pages. So everyone has a video and what they do. And if you're a mentee, if you're an undergrad or high school student, you can select your mentor. And here's another unique example. So one of the admins, Sanjoy, he has a mentoring relationship with a classroom in California. He went and visited them, but instead of just going and visiting and saying, okay, I'm a scientist, this is why science is cool, maybe here's some stickers, goodbye, it's fostering that relationship, so taking it to the next level and building on that. So his classroom, if kids have a question that the teacher might not answer or that relates to astrobiology, they just type it in this group and Sandra responds, usually within the day. So it's a really unique way to get science into the hands of the youth, like, immediately. And the kids love it. So why did we do this? So if you have the cosmic perspective, if you understand our place in the cosmos, in our solar system, in our galaxy, you know it's pretty special. And I think you have a different outlook on life. And one of our motivations was to bring that to as many people as we can, to share that perspective. So it is really up to us. As you guys know, there's a lot of budget cuts, the sequester. It's making it really hard for outreach right now, and we're not really sure what the future of it's going to be. And So this is a great way to do a grassroots movement of taking it into our own hands. And where we are now, so we officially launched just over a year ago on April 12th, 2012 at the Astrobiology Science Conference. And we have over 700 members. We have about over 5,000 followers on Facebook and 200 on Twitter. We're represented over 7 continents. Here's our member map. You can place your little pin where you're at. We have 32 interest groups, so people have created their own interest groups. And we already have over 30, and we've tweeted 720 times, and we have 3 bloggers. Brittany was one of them. She blogged from Antarctica. Awesome. And 2 of the other bloggers just came up to us and had content they wanted to share. We said, go ahead. And our newest one is a poet. She wants to do astronomy, universal poems, so I can't wait to see how that bodes. And we're just about done here. So if you haven't already, please join us on S.A.G.A.N.net, SAGANnet.org, and on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have any questions, find one of us this week. We're going to be around, or just email us at this address. And we'd like to thank Blue Marble Space Organization, NASA Astrobiology Institute, especially Melissa Curvenbrooks for being a huge support, and Carl Pilcher for also being a great support. Anyone I missed?
And just being really awesome. Also, we're also going to create a group on there for AbGradCon 2013, so you can keep interacting and talking, continuing your collaborations on S.A.G.A.N also.
And I didn't miss Batul's name here. And that's it. Any questions? Oh, yeah.